All right, good morning, advanced drawing. We are looking at expressive self-portraits and how to express ourselves through the portrait itself. Last time we talked about we can physically do an expression. We can make our face in an expressive vision, or we can use our color schemes to do expressions. And we talked a little bit about both. Whichever one you're doing, we want, the main thing is we want to be able to tell it's you, and that's primary. Secondary is this expressive nature. So the expressive nature doesn't mean that it has to be something like a dramatic facial pose. The expressive nature could be how you're doing your details, how you're implementing a mixed media, or how you're using coloration. And I just want to make sure that you guys understand that the pose of the face doesn't necessarily get you more or less points. Now, I will take into consideration if you, when you do your little reflection on it, if you say, it's hard for me to get eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth in the proper spacing, then I would rather you focus on getting those laid out better than trying to overcomplicate something and getting frustrated. On the other hand, again, if those things are easy, then I'm looking to see how are you challenging yourself. So, and it doesn't have to be super hard. It could be something as simple as kind of changing a structure and then trying to make that happen, trying to adjust the way something looks or feels on your face. Scrunching up, getting all the wrinkles in, or in my case, trying to get out wrinkles. How you handle different surface textures. I definitely should be able to tell the difference between skin and hair. I should be able to tell the difference between eyes and skin, teeth and skin. They shouldn't be all the same texture. They shouldn't be shaded the same way. They should all be handled a little different. Nothing says it has to be pencil, and nothing says it has to be color. It's up to you, as long as it's a drawn media. So with all those little things in our first few minutes here pushed out of the way, did you guys have any questions about doing the expressive self-portrait? I'm going to take that. Oh, wait, there's a yes.
What emotion should I do? You pick.
Oh, no.
What if I'm not good at showing emotions?
Then,
there you go.
Okay, so a lot of times we tie expressiveness with emotions. What if have you looked up the definition of the word expression yet?
Not really, but I guess I could figure it out. So
I just really quick and typing in here to Google. I love that. It automatically went to expressive self-portrait. But if I type in expressive, we'll let Google tell us.
Expressive
is effectively conveying thought or feeling. So thought, I think, is a little bit more complex than feeling. Emotions are pretty easy. Most of us can identify when someone is sad or happy. The more complex emotions, you can tell when someone's jealous. You can tell when someone's is feeling strongly. When you have subtle feelings like curiosity, those are a little bit tougher to show. But I think if you look at it as conveying of a thought, how would you demonstrate a thought in your drawing? And that could become something very creative. Mr. Williams' son, who's in college now, asked for some help, and basically we were looking into how he can do a 3D sculpture of himself and convey thoughts. So I'll bounce this back to you, tennis serve. How would you convey a thought in your drawing?
A thought bubble. That's what I would do.
So you would use we just finished our comics. You're going to use the comic thing and put up a thought bubble.
That's right.
Let's see. Does Olivia have any idea how to do thought?
Or I do just like a raised eyebrow. I'm
Okay.
good at that.
So if I type into Google thought drawing, you know, the first thing that pops in, you're gonna laugh, Cole.
Nope.
Thought bubbles.
Yes.
Here we'll share. So, a hand/figure under the chin, looking off to one side. So that is awesome. I'm glad Olivia put that in because thought bubble, thought bubble, thought bubble, hand under chin, looking to a side. I believe, so that would be Cole's answer. This would be Olivia's answer. I think the expression of thought is definitely a tough one. This is kind of interesting a little bit. This not being a whole face, similar to what Olivia said, but Groot, the idea of showing a thought is tough. It's definitely hard to figure out. That would be, to me, someone who says, this is really easy for me. I'm going to push myself and see what comes out. And I think you could come up with some beautiful ideas. I like the thing up here where when, oh, didn't show up my chat. Come on, guy. All right, I will get chat answers in a question or questions in a second here. The first thing is I have thought, but look, we have depression, creativity, sad, dark, inspiration, beauty. A lot of these things, some of them are what you think, but a lot of them are like talking again about emotions. So, could confusion and thought be the same type of drawing pose? That's a great question. I would say most people think something like this is someone deep in thought. Rodin's thinker. Confusion, usually we don't tap under. Usually you see from TV, when people are confused, they usually touch a little bit higher up on their head and they'll decline their face so that it looks like they're trying to figure out or come through. Thought and confusion, very similar. Sometimes I think I teach you what a thought is and you guys walk away confused. Man, that was just bad. So I think that when you're looking at it, our default is to go for an emotion, especially a strong emotion. And if you are someone who says, well, I don't express emotions, then think of the subtle ways you can do that. You might put down, and again, we can correlate colors with emotions if you want to go the color route. How you shade your picture if you want to stay just graphite. Casting those shadows, making things look deep can also lead into that idea of thought or confusion. So I'm going to poke real quick at, I don't remember if we talked about it last time, so I'm going to make sure I talk about it today. I put up an assignment that says portfolio. Basically, it is going to be like a Google slide, unless you guys want to make a movie, because I'd be all about it. And I would even like and comment below in your YouTube video. The portfolio is all of the work we've done this trimester, and we're going to put it all together. Seniors I had a meeting yesterday with Mr. Bryson, and the district is, and I say the district, I'm talking about all the principals, all the administrators are getting together, and they are figuring out how and when we are going to do this final trimester. And that will include when is the last day of teaching class, and then students' last day to turn stuff in so everything can be graded. So I put the portfolio on the 20th, but I think seniors are done before that, just so you guys know. How would I draw, vengeance, anxiety, sick type of expression? Sick, probably kind of like, where the face is kind of, and the shoulders come up a little. I kind of hide my neck like I'm holding back physical illness. Vengeance is a tough one. I think I would probably have hands in front, not fists. Fists are fighting. Vengeance is more, I want to try to get at the person. Mentally sick. Mentally sick. You could go for the cheap way, put them in a straitjacket. You could go for like one side of the face having just a normal, plain, everyday expression, and the other side kind of unnaturally moving towards a thought or a mischievous look in their face. Anxious is a tough one. How would I do anxious? Maybe like looking off, like have however I'm going to do the face, if it's a forward view or a side view or a down view or an up view, and having the eyes look off to a side. You could try, if you wanted to delve into like cubism, where you show a head in motion, so you have the head slowly moving around in your drawing, where you would have multiple kind of ghosting images. You could try something like that. You could do mental illness. You could have how the face looks and then things happening around it. Let me see real quick if I can find Sebastian. No, that is not him. All right, so give me 1 sec. I can delve into, I use a guy for graphic arts, and he's a graphic illustrator, and he did a whole series depicting different mental illnesses, and they're very well done. So let me go into last trimester's graphics class and pull this up. Now he's a Photoshop artist. There we go. I think this is him. Yes, okay, so we're gonna share screens. And though he's a Photoshop artist, he does a lot of drawing expressions in with his Photoshop. So Sebastian Grosso, and Symptoms of Mental Illness from 2018. So that's his little introduction of it. So 50 illustrations about mental illness. He uses both he is a very good drawer, and he uses Photoshop. So he'll do hand sketches, he'll scan them in and then put them inside of Photoshop, and then he does pictures like this. So this is a good example of a portrait and an example of mental illnesses going on. And not that you have to only do this with mental illness, but you could definitely use this sort of idea with anything that we were about to do. And each one is he gives you the title, he gives you the information. These I really like. So he's using a digital image of himself or of the actor, and then he has these drawings that he puts in. But when you look at the picture, the pictures, the drawn pictures are really not in there. He photoshops those into place. So he hand draws all of these and then photoshops them in. I think that's cool. I like his little drawings on top of what he's doing. I like the idea of shoes in the fridge. So some other kind of ideas. This would definitely be mixed media, digital imagery and drawing imagery. Oh, this is really cool. I wonder if he added this in because I don't remember this being in there before. And it's in English too. That's even better. So I think there's something to be said for sure as I really rapidly get back up towards his first few. Things like full finished drawing, a little bit of photo in there, but then these drawings over here where he has partial color and you see his sketches. So some of the coloration could have come inside of the Photoshop. Some of the coloration he might have done himself before and then scanned them in. His name is Sebastian Del Grosso, and I will throw his website into chat because he has some really cool things I like. The top part of it is his dedicated just graphic arts things. This is a beautiful series. Here's something that might give you an idea. So again, photograph done in Photoshop and then slightly erased out, and then drawn over the top of it, and then all of his hand sketches added in. His little things of the paper interacting with the person. I mean, those are really cool kind of concept ideas. Something like this, definitely expressive. As I try to cover up part of the picture with my hand, like you could see my hand. This side of the face, not as expressive, and he covers over the drawing. So I think he's a good artist. Well, I'll put him in our YouTube channel too. We'll give him a shout out as someone to kind of check out some of the things. He has some other cool stuff. If you like Star Wars, he has a couple of different little Star Wars vector drawings. Some other interesting little things for you guys if you want to peek through, but good artist to kind of reference for. So we are finishing comics, jumping into self-expressive portraits. Self-expressive portraits, I think, are probably going to take us a good 2 weeks because I want them well done. I want them detailed, nice, neat. It might take some of you 3 weeks to do. That'll give us just about 5 to 7 class days, Monday through Friday days, where we have one small project at the end, which is going to be an open drawing. And it's going to be you're going to show me what you like to do and how well you've improved over this trimester to do. So that'll be our last one. It'll be a self-made picture, and then we'll have our portfolios, and that should wrap us up. Cool?
Cool.
All right, guys. If you have any questions, you can stick around. Otherwise, you can bounce. I'm gonna hit stop on El Recordo.